Hi guys, and welcome again to Freckle Finance. Today I thought I would do a video on emergency funds and kind of how to calculate the 3 to 6 months. So the reason I kind of wanted to do a separate video on calculating it is I do know that other countries have unemployment and it's different, and I'm not really sure how it works. I did try to gauge, and apparently I know I've heard in the US it's kind of complicated. Budget Girl, you'll know that I asked you on your video about how it works, and you said that there's a lot of stuff to it. Sorry, I don't know the exact wording you used. But basically in Canada, we actually have, as I've mentioned in the previous video, we get 55% of your gross income up to $524 a month. Now, when you're figuring out how much you need for 3 to 6 months of safety, you can actually discount that money. Like, you can add that as income you will have when you are on, like, for your emergencies. And that's because pretty much everyone in Canada who is unemployed because they're laid off, etc. It's the same as maternity leave, even sick leave. If it's not covered through your work, it'll be the same way. So you actually will get some money. So when you're saving up your emergency fund for 3 to 6 months, a year, however long you feel comfortable with it, and however long you want to have it for, you can take into account that you will get about 55% of your gross income. And it's not taxed, it's actually taxed at tax season. So you can literally figure out pretty much what you're going to get. The length of time varies. I believe it's usually like 10 months, maybe 8 months. It probably depends on how long you've been working for. But if you've been working for a full year, you will probably get, 8 to 10 months for the full amount of the 55%, up to the $524 a week. Now, the reason I want to point out that you don't necessarily want to oversave for your emergency fund is because you usually have it in an account that doesn't make very much interest. So this is money that is kind of worth less every year. You usually put it into a bank savings account that may make 1%, sometimes a little bit more, but it's usually like guaranteed interest rate that you're making. You don't lose any money, because you definitely don't want your emergency fund actually invested, in the stock market or mutual funds or anything like that. Like, you wouldn't want your emergency fund there. And as kind of a quick, personal story, we actually don't technically have an emergency fund, the two of us, because if both of us were to lose our jobs today, the unemployment that we would get based off 55% up to the maximum, etc., I'm not going to give you what we would actually make, would actually be enough to cover us. We can cover all our bills. We actually could live in the same lifestyle we currently have because we spend so little of our actual income. So we don't actually need an emergency fund. That means we can actually focus all of our extra money towards savings and investing. Keep in mind, though, that if you are American or any other country, do look up what the requirements are to get unemployment, and keep that in mind. I definitely don't want you guaranteeing that the system's going to be like it is in Canada, because I don't believe that it is. But look up, see your options, look up the eligibility, and see how much you will be covered for. Like I said, it's really not a problem to over contribute to your emergency fund. However, it's better to get money in the market as soon as you can and build that up, and the younger you are, the better. So it's really just getting more money out of the equation. So you're not wrong to put more into your emergency fund, and if you want to continue to just save up the 3 to 6 months out of your own money, that's fine. You will do even better in those situations. So you will have a longer time that you need to prepare, or etc. Some people will use their 3 to 6 months of emergency money towards stuff for their house and stuff for their car, like if a big repair on the house, say you need the roof changed or whatever. I would advise actually having a separate thing, because whether something happens to your house or your car or not, that's unrelated to whether you've lost your job or not, and you usually won't be able to fix it with 1 month of pay, like what you have extra after 1 month of pay. So when I'm talking about emergency fund, I'm literally talking about like a job loss or an injury, or you've decided that you need to take off work for some reason, or whatever the scenarios are that you're off for a temporary time. So if you're including emergencies for housing and for your car in your regular emergency fund, take that into consideration, because I don't think that emergency situations for your house or your car should be included in the 3 to 6 months. When it comes to actually calculating the 3 to 6 months, you would take you would figure out how much you actually are going to need a month in an emergency situation. I would suggest you keep a little bit of money for extra spending. If this is a 6-month time period where you're not going to have any extra income, you are probably going to put yourself into debt, or you're going to be spending your retirement savings, because you will, by human nature, buy stuff that is not a necessity within a 6-month period. I don't know anyone who would be comfortable with not doing that. So take that amount and minus the amount that you expect to get a month, and then figure that money out, times it by 3 to 6 months, 9 months, a year, however many time, and that's the amount that you will actually need. Now, if you're pretty positive you're not going to get any type of unemployment benefits, you don't need to minus anything. As well, in regards to us not having an emergency fund because unemployment will cover us, we do not own a car, we do not own a house, we actually have no expenses where like a huge cost would come to us because of that, and we have renter's insurance on our apartment, so we don't have any huge costs that would come to us aside from just losing our job and being able to afford our regular bills. So as I said, you can keep doing it as you were if you were doing your full amount as if you got no income for emergency fund. It's really not that much of an issue, but I just wanted to educate on the idea that you could actually be saving for retirement sooner if you looked further into how much you will actually get in retirement from other sources, unemployment from other sources. Make sure you click subscribe so you can see when my newest videos are uploaded. As well, you can like me on Facebook, and I will see you guys on my next video. Have a good day. Bye.